Hey guys, Jake Jones here, and I'd like to tell you about my position on the world that we live in. Life has no meaning inherently. It's all absurdity for the most part. It's all wordplay, which can bring you into a state that could be categorized as dissociative. And how we approach these terms depends largely on how many people you decide to allow to fuck with you. And the meaning of fuck itself, which was the first word I ever learned, or one of them, uh, is can be positive or negative, just like anything else. But if we're being honest, all words that is outside of my own mind and outside of everybody else's own mind and perspective and the so-called universal perspective, all words and all meanings comprised of words used to explain those words are neutral. And that neutrality is highly underrated, highly malleable, flexible, and it becomes easier to make a point, to take a stand, once you've sort of detached yourself from any and all groupthink. This doesn't mean that you can't have experiences with groups or participate in groups, but with the understanding that it's fleeting, which is very hard to do when you, especially when you wish to be emotionally involved with somebody on a certain level. You know, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. Um, I really had this desire to be unlikable so that you could cut through that and be lovable. But the fact remains that love, as we tend to think of it, is but an illusion. So what happens? So what happens then is we actually go toward what we like. When we go toward what we like, when we sort of gravitate towards it or pound on the desk and insist upon it, we're more likely to be materially successful, physically successful. Like, oh, I can see that what I'm seeing in my mind and what I'm seeing out there are in sync with each other. And this is always the case. This is always the reality. This is always the reality. Your mind is like a TV. It's like sometimes it needs a little kick in the head in order to get going again. But once it does, and it always does, that energy cannot be switched off. It can be rearranged or changed in frequency, but it cannot be switched off. And so I want you guys to understand that. I want people to understand that when I ramble in videos, whether I ramble or whether I craft a coherent narrative, what happens is we get to the same place on different journeys. One's a little more fancy, one's a little more, comfortable and set up properly, with nice interior design and exterior design. The other's a little more ramshackle, a little more basic, a little simple. There's nothing wrong with that either. But some people would call that impoverished, and some people would look at one of these high-end investment companies and all their fancy furniture and stuff and be like, oh, that's geeked out, bro. That's just that's some schizo shit. But this depends largely on taste. Taste encompasses a large part of life because most of us are afraid to admit that we seek comfort. We do. And this is where intelligence is exalted as a character trait. The reality is I feel like stupid people are willing to put up with a lot more shit. And I mean, this is just what I've observed. Like, the surface level stupidity could actually be insane intelligence. But it's also like the Dunning Kruger effect, where it's like a guy like Einstein who is like exalted as the super genius. How do you know that he came up with the shit that he said? He might have been the biggest retard ever to walk planet Earth, but you wouldn't know it because he's been injected into schools everywhere. There's every classroom. There's like a picture on the wall of Einstein's like, imagination is more important than knowledge. And so what does this breed? Does this breed enlightenment or ignorance? What do these quotes and what do these collective beliefs say about the individual and vice versa? So, and a lot of uncertainty. Part of life, I think, is dealing with the idea of uncertainty. This is what the Greeks called a negative visualization. And the idea behind negative visualization is imagine the worst thing happened to you. You know, your family dies in a car crash. That actually happens to some people. Disease, famine, anything that you're afraid of happening. Imagine that for a second and then wake the fuck up and then go lift or, whatever you find gets that dopamine going again. You do that. See, that's what a lot of these people on the internet don't tell you about, because they think that just one speck of resistance is bad. Like, resistance is bad. No, dude, resistance is what created a lot of my greatest successes in life. Resistance is a good thing. It's a good thing, and a good thing should be taken care of. And make your decisions not based on comfort, but there's really no explanation to how you should make decisions. There's no one way to go about it. There's no, like, if somebody tells you, like, in a book or something, like, this is the one way you become, they're lying. I mean, they're naturally self-absorbed because they figure this book is going to sell a ton of copies. Okay, so what? Now it's in the dustbin, like every other fucking book written. Why was Socrates chosen over fucking, Tony Robbins, who might be the next Socrates? And who fucking knows? I don't. But I'm just trying to think of, like, big authors. There's the commercial of today, but who knows? It's like the big philosophers back then who sold thousands of tablets, stone tablets, compared to, like, men like Socrates who were, like, forced to drink hemlock and shit, right? Die a legend, die a hero, and not live to see himself become the villain. Well, and now it's like he's got a whole new life through his work, thousands of years later, post-death, posthumous esteem, and that's real shit. Like, that's what a lot of our society's based on, is teachings of Socrates, which I don't even know shit about, to be honest, because I always kind of just took them for granted. It's like, oh, they're there when you need them. I'm never gonna need them. I don't need anything. I don't need this book. I don't need this laptop. I don't need this phone. I don't need food. I don't need money. I don't need sex. I don't need any of it. Nobody needs this shit. Nobody needs this shit, bro. And this can either propel you to the top, or it could help you dig your hole even further. And sometimes, bro, you just gotta dig, and you gotta suffer the statistics. You gotta become that fucking statistic for a little while, and the haters will hate until the end of until they wake up. And they will wake up one way or a fucking another. Whether it's positive or negative, whether it's neutral or crazy. Whether it's like, I'm just gonna go ape shit and fucking drive on the railroad tracks today. I'm gonna go fucking cause a bomb threat in a fucking, you know, in Minecraft. See, I'm a pussy. I understand that now, because, like, if you were really a free speech warrior, you would actually set off a B threat and claim it's satire. If you were truly free speech and you just took, like, comedy to the nth degree, you would say some crazy shit. You'd be out, like, committing crimes as satire. Which I feel like a lot of these guys are really kind of about, because they just see, like, they're just so into this, like, absurdity. This absurdity paradigm, bro. Where it's like we're all just bodies to be fucked with. But the truth is, once you recognize objectively that you're not a body, once you understand that, then that lowers the importance of the body, which could then possibly lead to self-harm and harming others, because it's like, oh well, you're not a body, so if I kill you, there's no consequence. I kill myself, there's no consequence. You know, consequences is just some bullshit that we made up. It really is, bro. There's just some bullshit that we fucking made up. Going to jail for, like, trafficking children, that's some bullshit that we made up. We made that shit up. God didn't make that. God didn't make that shit up, because God is good. Do you see the difference? Do you see why I get so frustrated with, like, with people who just don't fucking get it, or don't even want to get it? Like, they'd rather cling to the past, to this idea of the past, or this idea of the future, their ambition. Dude, I don't give a fuck if I ever get a single thing that I want, ever. If it happens, I'm happy. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna, like, you know, I may have an emotion, but I gotta just take a breath with it. I gotta take a breath with it and remember, sanity-wise, that, like, I'm not a body. Like, I choose to be here. And at any moment, I can choose the opposite. I can choose not to be here. And that may look like death. That may look like Harikiri. But fuck what it looks like. Because it's never what it looks like. That lamp, for example, okay? That it isn't a lamp. That is a coagulation of atoms that we call a lamp. But if we said, oh, that's a coagulation of atoms that we call a lamp, we get nothing done. We just be fucking, we just be masturbating each other all day with wordplay, which has been my fucking job for years. And honestly, dude, I'm sick of it. I'm letting you guys in, bro. I'm letting you guys into my mind. I'm sick of a lot of shit. I'm dead tired of the same old status quo politicians acting like, gaslighting us into thinking that the trafficking of children is something to be fucking tolerated in society. In polite society, these people refuse to hold themselves or anybody accountable. Now, what does that look like? Does that look like blood in the streets? Maybe. I'm not going to say that's excluded, because to exclude anything is to deny your own imagination. And your imagination is good and evil. God is good. God is all good. But he creates evil to serve him, to serve his agenda, to serve his purpose. Do you honestly believe that this planet is special? That your dreams are special? That your goals are fucking special? Do you honestly fucking believe that your little career and your little fucking movie deal and all of that bullshit, do you honestly fucking think, bro, I feel sorry for you if you still have, like, these goals that you think are gonna make you happy. I'm not telling you how to live your life. But I'm just saying, like, temper your expectation, bro. Because if you don't get something for the rest of your life, how are you going to feel? If you don't get that girlfriend for the rest of your life, if you don't get that fancy car, if you don't get that dream job, if you're living in a shack for the rest of your life on welfare, like Ayn Rand or some shit, you know, prime example of hypocrisy. But you know, I'm not shitting on any individual. I'm just like using trivia to illustrate my point. And who cares, bro? Ayn Rand's fucking dead. Ayn Rand. How the fuck do you even say that K bitch's name? Fucking whore. I hate like fucking capitalist bitches, man. I hate like conservative trad bitches are the worst. I hate them. I mean, like, I don't like extreme anything type of person. Like the leftists who like dress up as babies and call you an incel. Like, I'm like, those people need to be rounded up. I'm serious. Like, we can't just pretend that judge not lest ye be judged and then use that as an excuse to allow the unspeakable, which we're now speaking of, the unspeakable and the unthinkable crimes to occur. And yet, the media will have us believe that they do. And that is schizo. I don't believe that anything bad is going to happen to me. But if it did, I would not pretend that, like, it isn't happening or that I don't have the right to respond to something or to just sit back, relax, and sip a pina colada on the beach, as I'm so accustomed to do, because I enjoy the finer things in life. I like The Matrix. I'm fucking Cypher eating the steak. Okay? Ignorance is bliss. The original title of this channel was Ignorance. And I might change it back, bro. Because fuck this comedy shit. Fuck this acting career. Fuck all these little side hustles. They suck, bro. Like, I like the money, but I don't need this. I don't need it that much, you know? So anyway, guys, that was a load off my tit. I hope you enjoyed that little rant. I will be posting more frequently, I feel like, because we just need to vent. Men in particular, who we've been gaslighted, women too, but men especially, we've been gaslighted into thinking like we're not good communicators, and that couldn't be farther from the fucking truth. It's just a lot of these fucking bitch-ass beta men and women out there, they don't want to fucking listen, and so that causes like discouragement, and we've got to like, and that is like the battle of the mind.